this plus this section plus the break and the outro and all that good stuff.
Hey, they're getting what they're paying for.
That's right.
Fucking nothing.
Wait a minute. Let's see what Twitter has for this, because I can't change the social. Yeah, that sucks. Couldn't change the social message on Restream this week, which is really weird.
A little bit.
I don't understand that.
I'll have to start watching some other TV shows besides My Little Pony, unless you want me to break down My Little Pony episodes for you guys. Telling you, man, I got the lore down.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Want to know the difference between an Alicorn and...
I was surprised my kid wasn't really interested in that show. I think she might still be a little bit too young, but I thought she would like it.
I don't know what specifically has drawn my daughter to this show, and I've tried to get her to watch other things, and she'll start to watch other things, and then it's right back to rewatching all of My Little Pony.
Yeah, she'll be like, can we go back to My Little Pony? It's like, yeah. We can.
It's that anxiety thing. It's like people with anxiety, they just want to watch the same shit because they know how it ends.
Right.
There's a reason I've seen the first 5 seasons of Supernatural like 27 times.
Before everything goes all the way bad.
No, I'm still 100% interested in it, but I don't want to go through that journey while I'm anxiety-ridden and depressed.
Yeah. 2020.
But what about the cult? Tell me about the cult. It's a pistol that kills demons, don't ask.
Yeah. That show's real good and real dumb. I love it.
It reminds me of The Flash, where they just lean into it. Like, the first season is a bit of Arrow, and then after that, they just go full-on Flash.
Yeah, like, once they realize they don't have to take themselves all that seriously.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite one, as always and forever will be, when the Supernatural Boys go to a convention all about the Supernatural Boys.
I thought you were going to say the one where they hang out with the Ghost Chasers TV show. That one's...
The Ghost Chasers guys are pretty solid.
That one's really good.
I still think that, like, the one where they go to this... They get an invite to go to this place, and it's a ghost hunt. But it's a ghost hunt or, like, fan convention organized by people who are fans of the books. The books which were written by the prophet, who is there to literally be a prophet. And it's like, he writes trashy, like, novels that these people make a convention for.
Right.
Like, they pull up and there's like 767 Impalas in the parking lot. And like 8 people all walking around dressed as they are. It's just like, what is going on? And it's just like, okay, you jumped the shark and you nailed it, and I'm perfectly happy with that.
Oh, man. All right, you guys ready to start this thing?
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello, Governor.
And the Nimp.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones or numbers get all the cool behind-the-scenes, early access, and exclusive uncensored episodes every week. You get all that good stuff. You help me pay for the show. And if you get the $250 total level, I start playing some scary games.
On stream.
Yeah, on stream, live, in the dark, with headphones on. Like, I'll do it right. Like, I'm not going to be like, it's noon, the windows are open. I'm listening to the sound. Like, no, I would do it proper. I'm not going to...
To be honest.
Yeah. Moonpier, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, so we'll start with Lapex. That's Apex Legends, by the way. Anytime I send a message to who I've been playing it with, I just write L''Apex ? Adding a little bit of class into it, because Apex sounds like a French word, so you might as well put the Lipex. Want to play some Lipex? I have a Lipex engines installed. But no.
Apologize to our French fans.
I'm sorry, French people. The season 6 continues. It's a pretty solid season so far. Like, I can't tell if that motorbike was outside my house or somebody else's. It's a pretty good season so far. Like, there's I like the changes that they've made. Ranked is not treating me well, which is to say, I'll have 4 rounds of drop and die, and then 1 round of I'm doing okay kind of thing.
Like top 20.
Dude, there's only 20 squads. I do that every
Hey
match.
man, you're in top 20 every time. See, it's all about marketing. It's like I'm top 20 every time. How would I know?
That's true, because you never played the game.
That's right. It's like Fall Guys, top 60 every time. Killing it.
100%. Call of Duty top 100 every time.
That's right. That's right.
I never played the Call of Duty Battle Royale, so I don't even know if that's right.
Yeah, it is. It's all right.
Awesome. I don't know. Like, I'm enjoying playing the game, but there's been more frustration than success recently, and I don't know if that's just because everyone's jumping in because it's in a new season, and everyone's discovering the new meta game, and I don't pay attention to the meta game, so I don't know which is the most powerful weapon, but it would explain why I keep getting domed by like the same weapon over and over and over and over and over again. But I don't care. I'm there to play, to have fun, and to apparently really annoy everybody with Rampart, because people just don't like her.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, his skills are pretty fun. They're pretty solid. The main thing that seems to bother people is her attitude. Like,
oh,
I think I mentioned it, she's British Indian, it sounds like, but she has a very British sense of humor. The difference is when I deliver my British sense of humor, it's in a very deadpan way. So you can almost always tell I'm joking, or you just think I'm talking like I normally talk, in a deadpan way with zero emotion, like the robot that I am. But when she delivers these lines, she is bubbly, no pun intended, because she does chew bubblegum a lot, but she's bubbly, very active, and one of her drop lines is something along the lines of, okay, I'm the jump master. Let's get down there quick so we can show those fools why their mama never loved them.
Great.
She's just a little bit on the mean side.
Right, but like delivering it really positively.
Yeah, in everything that she says is just a little bit on the mean side, which is ironic because Emma's favorite character is Watson, who is a positive person, or was until the most recent story stuff happened. So Watson is always making cheerful comments and making bad puns about electricity. A little bit Boston, on the mean. If you play Apex, you need to unlock Watson. She's your jam.
Okay.
Everything she says is a pun about electricity. Everything.
Love it.
I am charged and ready to go.
Yep.
That's an extended energy magazine. Oh, you mean like a capacitor? It's literally everything she says is a really bad pun about electricity.
Loving it.
But she's really positive, and that's who M plays. And M loves Caustic, who's the science guy, who's all about testing on people and murdering folks. But she doesn't seem to mind that. She just hates the way that Rampart says stuff, which I'm only assuming is because she's very bubbly when she does. Caustic is very much a case of willing test subjects.
Right. Speaking of Mark Hamill.
Yes, speaking of Mark Hamill. Well, I mean, Apex Legends, it continues to be fun. It continues to be enjoyable. Ish. We'll add on to the end of that because there's been a couple of days where it's like, oh, I played 10 games and 7 of those 10, I died without doing any damage at all.
Yeah.
Which, it's fine, but when you walk halfway across the map and you still don't do any damage, that's when it gets annoying.
Right.
I did download and play Double Kick Heroes, which just came to Game Pass.
Okay.
Which is let's see if I can get this correct. I'm just going to break it down to its basics. It's a rhythm game.
Okay.
Where you're driving a car, shooting guns out the back of the car at zombies who are chasing you.
Dope.
It might get better for you.
Okay.
It's a metal rhythm game.
Uh-huh. It's just getting better.
I'm talking real metal.
You gonna tell me it's a roguelike now, too?
It might have roguelike elements to it, because everything does these days.
That's right.
But yes, Double Kick Heroes. Guess what, folks? It's on Game Pass. So you can go and give it a shot right now if you'd like.
It's also on PC and it's Switch. developed and published by Headbang Club.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's real good.
It leans into the metal quite a lot.
I'm watching the trailer. It calls itself a rhythm metal shooter.
Mm-hmm. Because every time you hit the beat, you are shooting the guns, and shooting the guns stops the zombies from catching the car, which means you can stay alive longer. It's a very interesting concept, and the music is really insane. Like, it goes from like 8-bit metal to like really hardcore metal. The intro is like a thrash metal like intro. It's a solid enough game. I played 3 levels, and I think I'm done.
Okay, like you've seen everything you need to see.
Mostly at the moment, I don't think I can handle it. Like,
oh, okay.
my brain is so physically tired right now, or mentally tired, I should say. Whatever. Like,
that's how tired your brain is.
Yes. At the best of times, I feel like I'm observing the world through a small layer of Vaseline wiped over my brain functions.
Mm-hmm.
And I played a bit of this, and I was just like, "This is really cool." My brain is not comprehending how to press 2 different bumpers right now. Like, that's it goes fast, and I was just constantly being like, I'm just going to hit this bumper 3 times and then this bumper once to make these 3 notes disappear, and then I would constantly wonder why me hitting the button 4 times counted as a miss for 3 notes. And then
right.
A half a beat later, I'd be like, well, why did I press it 4 times? And then there's another 5 beat coming along, and I'm just like, nope, I can't process this. I'm not functioning correctly for this right now. So
I'm gonna have to give that a shot and see.
Honestly, I would look forward to it. The whole reason I'm talking about it is because I want other people to play it, because I know I'm not going to give this game a fair shake right now. I'm just not.
Right.
When mentally I can't play the game, and I can see some of the things that is making me want to play it, it's like, I'll talk about it, I'll mention these issues, but I'm not going to say do or do not play.
Yeah, it's also on Game Pass for PC too, so that's probably where I'll try it.
It works out pretty well for you then, because I know you hate your Xbox.
It's not that I hate my Xbox, it's just that both my PS4 and my Xbox are sick in different ways, and like I'm just waiting for the new models to come out so these ones can like live on a nice farm upstate somewhere.
No, it's when you cut yourself, you bleed blue like a Vulcan.
No, because I play stuff on pretty much everything. My day one launch Xbox One vanilla, it's old and tired. It wants to go to sleep.
So what you're saying is, just like pets, the consoles start to take after their owners.
That's right, very very much so.
And if you want to talk about bleeding blue, I can't even tell you the last time I touched my Xbox, and it's not even like a conscious choice that I made. I just all of a sudden realized one day that I'm playing my PS4 a lot more than my Xbox. When's the last time I turned this thing on?
Trust me, I know that is part of your personality that I accept.
Well, part of it is like we'll talk about Spiritfarer in a little bit, but like I would be playing that on my Xbox if I didn't have Moonlighter. So like I can play all of these games with controller support on my PC, which is going to run faster at a better frame rate, because like I can't even do 4K on my Xbox. Like it doesn't even have HDR, so like there's no real reason I'll play it on my PC and I can use the same controller and kind of have a better experience. So
like I stick with my PS4 just for the JRPGs, which you normally can't find anywhere else. But it was even to the point where earlier this week I bought a game on Steam, but before I did that, I checked the price on PSN, and then I'm like, what does it matter? It was cheaper on Steam anyway, but I was like,
there you
whatever.
Go. Yeah. All right, I'll check that out. That's called Double Kick Heroes. I'm gonna check that out.
Yes. And it's got a cool art style. It seems very rote nowadays, the art style, but I still kind of like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Plague Tale, Innocence.
Oh, yeah.
Not so innocent anymore, the amount of guards I've murdered with rats.
I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to be in a happy place.
I am trying to be in a happy place, but I also need to clear some hard drive space, because shock of shocks, I'm back to being full again.
Oh,
and
boy.
Plague Tale is 42.9 gig of single player goodness that I can
It's a
finish
lot of rats,
and
man.
uninstall.
Yeah.
Like, I need it out. I need it done. Like, I was torn between that and Senua's Sacrifice. Senua's Sacrifice is like 11 gigs. It's like,
Oh,
no,
wow.
I'm going to do Plague Tale first and then try and find a
Sort by size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Anytime I go into my games and apps, it's literally what I'm sorted by.
Yep.
So the biggest games get full features up at the front. I really need to beat Red Dead Redemption 2 so I can uninstall 120 gigs worth of space.
Oh, boy.
But I know where that story goes too, and that's not exactly happy-go-lucky either.
Yeah,
well, neither are any of the other games you named off. So.
Right,
No,
yeah.
Nothing is these days, to be honest.
You might as well just do some hunting and then just knock out the story real quick. You're probably like 2 missions away from the end anyway.
No, I'm not that. No, I barely scratched the surface of that game. But no, Plague Tale continues to be a well-told story. I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago when I first talked about it. It took us by surprise because it's made well and functions.
Right.
And nobody had heard about it, and it continues to be made well and function.
Nice.
So, don't think so far it deserves the praise it got.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it literally came up and like a tidal wave overtook everything to do with gaming for like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone was talking about. I was like, okay, I don't know if it deserves that level of things when, I don't know, Enter the Gungeon gets ignored for a year and a half.
Yeah, don't remind me. Grumble.
Yeah. By the way, I did love Edmund's tweet about they use that Pokemon.
Yeah, who's that Pokemon? It's clearly Isaac, and Edmund, if you don't know, designed and created Isaac, and he's like, enter the Gungeon. It's like, yep,
Yes.
that's Edmund.
Throwing some shade that way. That's great. But I mean, it's good. It's acted well. It looks beautiful. The lighting in it is fantastic. The story is interesting right now. I'm dealing with alchemists during revolutionary / maybe not revolutionary French, like what's that thing that the British did where they wiped out half of the planet's population? Crusades. There we go.
That thing.
I got there eventually.
Yeah.
I think it's in France during that time period, so there's a lot of bad British people.
Right.
Shock of shocks, the British are the bad guys, as we deserve to be.
Are we the baddies?
Yes, 1,000%.
Yep.
Yes, we are. All British are bad.
Yeah.
A-B, all British are bad. There you go.
Americans aren't that great.
Yeah.
Trust me, the acronym for that is AAAW. All Americans are worse. So
there you go.
But no, Plague Tale continues to be fun. It plays well. I'm enjoying it, but I'm doing it in very, very small chunks. Like, play an hour. I'll do one chapter tonight. Then in 2 days' time, I'll do another chapter because it has really long loading screens, which gives me the perfect time to shut the game off and then not play it for another couple of days.
There you go.
My final game this week, the game everybody's talking about, and by everybody, I mean everybody I talk to and everybody I interact with on a regular basis, except for my wife. Nimp, tell me what you think about it. You know what I'm talking about? You start first, since you started recently.
Okay. So, we're going to be talking about Spiritfarer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally wanted to say a different game name, but anyway. Yeah. So, yes, I picked this up last week on the PlayStation, because apparently I bleed blue, as discussed earlier.
That's right.
I really, really enjoy this game.
Yeah.
It is, like you guys said last time, it does start really slow.
Yeah.
I am at the point now where I have Alice, who is the newest person on my ship, and I can double jump and I can glide now.
Nice.
Okay.
And that's about it. My ship is right now, I don't know if this gets any bigger once you max it out, but I'm like the second one away from being maxed out on my ship right now.
Okay.
So I went all into crafting and resource management and all that fun stuff to just build everything.
It's so addictive. Like once you can get to a new area, it's like, oh, look at all these new materials that I have to build. Oh yeah, build this other stuff. Yeah.
And my biggest issue right now is I am stuck with the barriers that they put in the game. I found a rock, an ice, and a fog, I believe.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Rock, ice, and fog. Yep.
Yeah, so it's looking like I have to wait until like a story moment before I can get the rock breaker, which looks to be the first one that you can get.
I was going to say, do we want to break this down for him? Or?
Yeah, so for anyone playing this game, it's like the only thing they don't explain is you need a spirit flower. You get one of those every time you say goodbye to a passenger.
Okay.
So, like, everything else you can sort of figure out, and it sort of leads you in the right direction. But for the longest time, I'm like, what's a spirit flower? Like, what is this? You say goodbye to someone in their house, a spirit flower spawns, and then you'll get one for every person you say goodbye to.
I figured it was probably tied to when you get a new spirit on your ship, because every time someone new comes on, all of a sudden something, it doesn't open up, but something that you couldn't do before, that you've gone into before, you can do something there now.
Like one of those events and games and
so like with the thunderstorms used to just be I would go through there until and all my plants would be watered and I'd be fine, but as soon as I got the frog whose name I can't remember,
a tool.
Yes, you could start catching lightning in a bottle in that area now.
Yep.
Which is awesome. And then once I got Alice, there's like this
pill bug?
The pill bug that shows up, and I can get like the nebula fiber or whatever it's called. Yeah. So, which I haven't had a need for those yet, but every time that I've pulled into that area, I've been doing all those because I know I'm going to need a ton of those eventually. So.
Also, this is a small piece of advice. The game does tell you this the first time. Afterwards, it happens, but the event's curated by specific people. Once you say goodbye to those specific people, you can still do the events by just interacting with their door when you get to that location.
Yeah, from their little house.
Cut you off from getting those resources.
I figured that would probably be what's happened, but whatever. I'd figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. The fast travel, I also really enjoy, and the fact that it is actually fast. I'm not waiting for a load screen. It's basically,
What did you think about Alex's introduction where he says he demands you call him Alex, not Alexander, because that's a garbage name for garbage people?
As a person whose name is Alexander, that is a bull-faced lie.
Right. How dare this seal?
Themselves an Alex is a douche.
laying down battle lines here. Wow. Moon, have you...
I really like the art style for it, too. It looks really beautiful.
Yeah, it's so good looking. Moon, did you finish it this week?
Nope. I played a lot of Apex this week, guys. There's a battle pass going on. I don't know if you know this or not, but I got like 1% to hit.
You got 90 levels to still get?
80. I have bid farewell to 3 more things.
Okay.
The last time I played it, I actually just upgraded to get the Rock Breaker.
Oh, nice.
So now that whole side of the thing is opened up to me. Mobility-wise, I'm 2 upgrades past where you are, Nim. So I have 2 more platforming abilities.
You almost have the last one then, yeah.
So, minor thing here.
Sure.
I love this game. I love the story. I love the writing. I love the telling. Am I a cold, dead robot, as I previously proclaimed myself to be? Because I think I might be.
Why is that?
Because so far, when I do the farewell stuff with the stuff, it's like I'm... Stop me if I sound like a sociopath here.
Okay, I will do, yes.
If you've read Horns, this is a very much a what would what's-his-face do kind of moment. Where every time I say goodbye to someone, I'm like, oh, cool. That's sad.
Yeah.
Not feeling sad, thinking that is sad.
Well,
thinking that is depressing. Thinking that is X, Y, and Z.
Well, go ahead, sorry.
I don't know if it's the fact that I have encased myself in a shelf of steel. in like a wall of steel because it's 2020.
Sure.
And as much as this does have it has a lot of goodness in it. I really like a lot of stuff. Giovanni can go eat a brick for all I'm concerned about.
Grumble.
There's a lot of stuff I'm really genuinely enjoying about this game, and it's really, really great. Like, it's a really great game. But every single time I say goodbye to people, my brain says that's sad. But my emotions say, this is a pixelated person, get off my ship, give me my reward. Like,
I think the thing for me is I think the game does a really great job because the goodbye process is fairly emotional because like everybody lines up on the deck of the ship to say goodbye, and like it's this very long, lengthy thing with great music and like a big crescendo, and like I won't spoil it for anybody, but like
Alice is the worst one so far.
Oh God, yeah, Jesus Christ, yeah, that was the roughest of them because like the. I don't want to spoil it, but hers was the roughest. But I think for me, I feel similarly, but I think because the goodbye process is basically the entire time you know someone, because they're always gonna go to the Everdoor once they come onto the ship. So like you already know what the end is gonna be, and to me it's always kind of bittersweet because it's not like they left for no reason. Like they came to terms with something, or they finally made peace with someone else, or you know, like their full story came to like a satisfying conclusion. And yeah, it's sad, but like you kind of made them happy, and you kind of finished their storyline wrapped up in a largely satisfying way. And I think to me, it's like, yeah, that's sad, but it's also kind of like there's this, it's half sad and half hopeful. You know?
Yeah. My problem is I'm just not feeling right now.
Right. It is 2020, so, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I genuinely, like I said, I'm processing it mentally and knowing that this stuff is sad. And I know full well, maybe if I was in a more vulnerable state rather than trying to shield myself against the world in this year of 2020.
Sure.
And everything that seems to be going on in everybody's personal lives right now, if I was in a more neutral state rather than a more defensive state,
sure,
maybe this would be literally me curled up in a ball and sobbing in tears.
Every 2 hours, you're like, I don't want to say goodbye. Yeah. And
I can see why it would do that. I can genuinely see why it would.
Sure.
I think at the moment I've just got too many balls up in the air to be thinking about this one ball over here trying to make me cry all the time.
Right.
I've got YouTube clips for that.
Right. I finished it this week. I was a lot closer to the end than I thought I was, because I had basically like 4 people on my ship, and one of them doesn't go to the Everdoor. They just stay on your ship permanently. And like one person went by very quickly because they don't want to be on the ship. And then I was like right at the end for the rest of the people on the ship. So like I kind of said goodbye to all of them, did a couple of upgrades. I didn't 100% the game because I'm probably going to play this again on something else. And like I'll probably try and play it on PS4 and try and get the platinum because I'd like to do 100% of it. But I have to get through so many other games this year. And then I like the game was very much like, go do this final thing, and thankfully it warns you before you go do it to say like, hey, this is the point of no return. You can load your game afterwards and keep going, but like this is the final story point. And I was like, you know what, I'm happy with my experience in Spiritfarer at this point. I can go do all this other stuff. I can go catch all these fish, and I can go do all this stuff, but I'm kind of ready to say goodbye. Like I'm kind of ready to wrap this up. And
the final goodbye.
Yeah, like that is maybe sort of the thing that I think that's what the final quest is actually called. But the one thing I was worried about with this game was I was really worried that everything had been so good in this game. I was worried that they wouldn't stick the landing, and I'm really happy with how the ending went. I don't think it was perfect, but I think it was perfect for me. It was like a really nice capstone on this entire experience. And I think it was the logical conclusion of, minor spoiler for the Nymph here, is the logical conclusion of where the Hades story bits were going. Which, by the way, Hades is the best animated thing in this game, bar none. And I think it was the best logical conclusion. I think it was incredibly. I think it was a really satisfying ending.
Cool.
So, yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I really recommend everybody try it and just like take the ride for the first hour or two, where the game is like slowly showing you stuff, and you're sort of slowly wandering around the world and kind of learning it and figuring it out, and just kind of give it some time.
Have you guys played this in co-op yet?
Nope.
No, I talked to my wife about it, and she didn't seem super interested in it, so I didn't really push it.
So I did with my daughter.
Your daughter's playing as Daffodil?
Yeah. Yep. No, I am playing as Daffodil. We actually started.
Wait, hold on. No. You're breaking rule number 1, 2, and 3 of Parenthood. You are player 1. They are player 2. # deal with it.
We're playing on her account.
I see.
So, and I wanted to play as the cat. So,
yeah.
In the co-op, obviously you have Stella, Daffodil, human, cat. The cat can do everything that Stella can do. So I can, and since I'm way further than she is, I already know what we can do to get things going. So, like, I'm telling her, okay, we need to go to this island. And then as the cat, I'm running to the boat, jumping into the boat, getting the boat to go to the island while she's still trying to catch up. And then I'm running to the trees, chopping them down. You have to wait for the other player to get there so you can actually do the saw thing, which is still the funniest thing ever. My wife, or my daughter, thinks that's the cutest thing, that the cat hangs off on the end of the saw, and it's just Stella pushing it back and forth with the cat dangling.
Moon, have you had the cat get stuck and can't come with you to help you chop down a tree?
No, not yet.
It's an even better animation. I've had it happen once where the cat couldn't follow me. Like, I had to do the bouncing thing super, super high, and there was a tree up there I could cut. So Stella's just waiting there and waving, and after like 15 seconds, this giant puffball that looks super upset is just floating in the air and like gently lands right next to you, and then like just shakes itself, and she's back to normal. It's just like, that's so good.
Okay, I have to ask, you played it in co-op. Tell me about the cat fishing animation.
So yeah, there's actually a bunch of different animations for the different things, but the cat fishing animation, the cat just sits there on the edge of the boat, and the fishing rod shows up above the cat. And when the fish pops up, the cat will jump up and catch the fish in its mouth for it to go into your inventory.
That's really good.
You know, you get the little rainbow and stuff that pops up. With the cooking, the cat can cook, so you just run up to the oven, the cat throws the stuff in there, and when it gets done, it gets these little paw mitts that it gets on its paws so it can pull the food out of the oven.
Yep.
That's good.
When it goes to water, it will lay on its back, and the watering can will show up above it, and it will push its front legs up while pushing down its back legs so it can they did real good by the cat.
This game is, it's just like the level of care on so many of these animations is just, it's so good.
The pickaxe that you get for mining is a smaller pickaxe for the cat.
That's really good. Have you dived underwater as the cat yet?
Yes, I have. Basically, it just looks really frazzled when you make it go under, and then it pops back up, and it's right back up on top of the Everlight.
That's
like
great.
It basically just rushes out of the water on top of the Everlight. Because the dive down, it basically creates an anchor.
Mm-hmm.
And then it attaches itself to the anchor, and it's got like this real, like, I don't know, look on its face, and then it just disappears. So,
I love this game so much.
Yeah, it's a
so
great
good.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're still on me. Okay, so
we just actually transitioned to you, so that was pretty nice.
So, are you guys all done talking about Spiritfarer?
Yes, go play Spiritfarer.
Okay. Yes. The next game that I played was Horizon Zero Dawn. I have finished the game.
Congrats.
Story's really good.
Mm-hmm.
The controls, not so much.
Yeah, there's some stuff near the end of the game where it's like, yeah.
My biggest issue sometimes is just the camera, because I use the bow pretty much like 99% of the time throughout this game.
Yeah.
And the camera is already pretty tight on Alloy to begin with, which is fine normally. But then when you use the bow and you're aiming, it zooms in more.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Whenever you're trying to fight something that's flying or something that's just fast, it's hard to keep that in your screen because your screen goes from being a regular screen to this tiny little pip screen that you're trying to use to track everything. So
that's why I'm excited about the sequel. It's like how are they, now that they've gotten the first one under their belt, like how are they gonna change all that stuff to be a little bit more modern and like a little bit more friendly?
Yeah, because I also ran into the issue several times where when you're in an underground area with the lighting, the only way you can see that there's something there is when you use that second sight that she has.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you get that outline, but if you don't have that, it's like so dark in some areas of the light shining in certain ways that you can't see an outline of what you're trying to shoot at.
Yep. Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. But I mean, it's a great looking game. I also did not know while watching the credits that Hideo Kojima had anything to do with this game at all.
Yeah,
he gets a very special things at the end.
Yeah, he consulted on it because they were looking at using that engine for Death Stranding.
Yeah, because I actually looked that up for why Kojima was on this to begin with, and yeah, a small portion of the MGS5 team helped work on this engine.
That's right.
And apparently it is the engine that is used in Death Stranding.
Yep. That's why they ported Horizon to PC.
Yeah. And after I did that, got my New Game Plus and looked in my inventory, there's like a bunch of Death Stranding stuff in there that I didn't realize that I had.
Oh, they must have patched that in. Interesting.
There's stranded shackles, there's a stranded figure, and there's also a stranded necklace.
That's
cool.
And
if you read the description, at the time it doesn't make sense, but since I've beaten Death Stranding, I know exactly that the figure is supposed to be a BB, the necklace is supposed to be, what do they call that?
The dog tag things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the shackle is the handcuffs that they have.
That's cool.
The icon for these, they're not like the normal necklace shackle, figurine that you would get. They're the Kojima team, that astronaut skull icon.
Right.
It's like all of this stuff wouldn't have made sense to you playing this game, really. Right. So that was pretty cool going back into seeing that stuff. But yeah, I really love the story. It was great.
Lance Reddick is great as usual.
Yes, and they left it at an awesome cliffhanger.
Yep.
So obviously, since there's a second game coming out, everyone who's beaten it kind of knows where it's going. But
when I finished it originally, I was like, why? Why would you do this to me? That was so good.
Yeah. So I still may not buy the next one day one, but I'm interested in playing it. And I still have the DLC because I bought the one that came with, what was it, the Wild Frozen DLC? Frozen Wilds or something.
Boy. Yeah, if there's any time to get into that, it's right now before you forget the controls, because that is hard and it starts hard immediately.
And the only other thing that I don't like about this game is that it is so filled with icons.
Yes.
And I know everyone goes back and forth complaining about open world games where either there's too much or there's nothing. And this one, for me, hits too much, where you could zoom in all the way on your map and still have 60 icons that you're looking at. And if you zoom out, a lot of those icons take up the map, so you kind of have to zoom in midway so you can try to figure out the pathing for that you're supposed to be taking. But
yeah,
whatever. I'm not generally an open world person, even though I've played 2 open world games back to back this year. But I mean, I'm also not the guy that gets burnt out on it and every year complains about open world games. It's like I pick one up maybe. Yeah, I pick one up maybe once every year, every other year.
Right.
So the last one that I can think of was Spider-Man that I played. off the top of my head. So, which was also a really good game.
It is, yeah.
After that, though, I was talking with a coworker at work who recently started getting into Warframe.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I was comparing basically how the game played since the last time I played it to how it's playing now for them. And there's a lot of differences.
Yeah.
A lot of
there's
differences.
like a tutorial now.
Yeah. So I downloaded that and jumped back into it for one mission, and none of it looks familiar.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
I completed a capture mission by myself, which is fine. Still running Oberon with a Soma Prime. Still love that gun, even though they nerfed it. As I'm playing this, though, and I'm noticing like the different things and the different icons, menus, how the frames feel different, the new movesets that they have and all that, I was trying to figure out when the last time I had played this game was.
Oh, no.
And what I can tell you is that I think I have it narrowed down to the last time that I played this game was when they were on update 16 on the PlayStation. They are currently on update 31.
So it might have been like 2018.
Yeah, maybe. So
wow.
It's been a while.
Man.
Yep.
But the core stuff is still the same. He and I were discussing like the different ways, because now you have, I think they call it a controller now, where you're not, I guess spoilers for Warframe.
Dude.
All right. So,
as it is.
Just give them a couple seconds.
Yeah.
So your frames are not you in a power armor suit, basically. You are a being, a human, that is in a control center, basically, and you are remotely controlling these frames.
Oh, okay.
So once you've unlocked that, you actually get to create another character, and that is your controller.
Like the human drone operator.
And what they've added are these new skill sets for your controller.
Oh, no.
So now what you can do is you have this other energy bar that you can fill up, and once that fills up, you push down on the touchpad and you unlock like this, or you unleash this ultimate attack where your controller phases out of the frame and just basically unleashes a beam of holy righteousness that I have so far.
Right.
And it's basically this constant beam that just goes off until you get hit, and then your controller goes away and you're back in control of your frame.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They've added a lot more flight mechanics. The arc wings, which no one seemed to like at all, people kind of seem to like now. But they have the bigger thing now where your dojo, which is your clan, you have ships in them now. And you can take a group of people from your dojo into a ship, and you can do ship missions now where people can... And I haven't done this yet. This is what this guy at work was telling me that he did with his group, that it basically separates where, like, say you take like 10 guys with you, 3 of them will stay behind to control the ship and do like the weapon systems and stuff like that. Everyone else is out in space on an arc wing flying around shooting things.
Oh, okay, I've seen video of that, and I was like, this is Warframe? This looks super cool.
And one of the ones that he was telling me about was they were trying to take over like this other ship. So they basically had to fly from their ship to this other ship, infiltrate it, do what they had to do, and then come back.
That's cool.
So they've got like a whole nother map area for doing just that stuff.
Oh, man.
Which looks really awesome. I don't know if I'll get back into Warframe, but I like a lot of what they did.
Yeah.
Don't. I know.
Save yourself.
Trust me, don't.
Just delete it.
It's one of those games that I'll jump back and forth into, like, obviously after a couple of years, and then I'll get like real heavy into it again for 6 months, and then I just give it another break. So, but it's always fun to play. I really like it. If you've never played it before, it's free to play. I've never felt the need to have to spend money on it, but I have, just because I did play it for a really long time. And a lot of the stuff that you buy is mostly cosmetics. You can buy Prime stuff, which is stupid expensive. But you can do it if you want to. You don't have to. The last game that I played is Everspace.
Yeah.
It's on sale on Steam for $9.39 or something like that for everything.
Yeah.
And I said last time on this podcast that the next time it goes on sale, I will buy it.
I think in the public feed, Everspace just wrapped up for We Rogue Like It.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that is a game. I'm enjoying it. My first run, I got to the second sector and was immediately blown up.
Yep.
So it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, this is why I generally don't play roguelikes, but whatever.
Right. For a first run, that's really good.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible. The thing, it was what is it? The Orvik? Whatever the alien race or whatever is that they've got Corvettes and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, it was like a Mark II fighter or something and it was just one. And I was like, all right, I should be able to take this. No. Absolutely not.
Are you playing on normal?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your control scheme?
I'm playing on PC, so it's whatever I want it to be.
Oh, okay.
I don't have to worry about the plight of you plebes.
Well, there's a sort of a funny part in We Rogue Like It at the end of episode 1, I believe it was, for Everspace. Monkey Senior's like, man, I tried this different control scheme C, and it immediately clicked way better. And Moon and I had switched over in the week between episode 1 and 2, and Control Scheme C is where it's at, but you're playing on PC, so you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, I heard that, so that was the first thing before even playing the game that I looked at, but it doesn't have that control scheme, just because you can set it up however you want, and I did plug in the controller, and from what you guys were describing, it seems like that's the default on PC with a controller.
Oh, okay, interesting.
There's only a couple things that I moved around and tweaked, just so that it would be more, like, I don't know what it is, but like in shooters, I can't play inverted.
Okay.
Anytime I have to fly something, it has to be inverted.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't know what the disconnect is there, but I can't make it work in my mind.
If I'm flying anything, it has to be inverted, but like if I'm controlling a person, it absolutely cannot be.
Yeah. I think Vinny Caravella from the Giant Bomb site, he spoke about this a lot, and I'm going to paraphrase him a little bit here when I say, if I'm controlling it from my perspective, then up is up, down is down. However, if I feel like I'm holding a stick in controlling that game, pulling towards me should lift the nose of the ship up.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Because I've gone back and forth between playing first person in this and third person. Mm-hmm. First person's really nice, but I went back to third person just because I like being able to see around me, especially in the starter ship.
That's my preference.
Your cockpit window it's wide, but not wide enough for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, first run made it to sector 2. My second run made it all the way up to sector 5 before I died.
Nice.
Using the same ship. So I was basically on the last node before I got to the jump gate. I was in an area that had a jumping jammer in it. I'm like, all right. So, and I had like all these things that I had to take out. So I took all of them out. And by the time I took all of those out, 5 of these Corvette things show up right on top of the jumping jammer.
Yep.
And there was nothing I could do about that.
Right.
So I got real close to almost getting out of there, but yeah, they lit me up.
Yeah.
There was no getting around that. So that ended that one. In that run, though, I did find what are they called? The alien race or the ancient race, whatever.
Yeah.
I found one of those structures, which gave me an ancient glyph. After I fought this orb thing, which then turned into a singularity, which almost sucked me in. Because I was like just on the outskirts where my ship was starting to get dragged to it, and I was still able to boost out of it, and I was fine. Because the ship, goes into all warning. It's like, oh, singularity detected or whatever. I'm like, oh man, that looks really nice. I wonder what happens if I fly into it. And that's when I remembered Moon saying, stay away from singularities.
Right.
I'm like, all right, yeah. So I backed out, and then after you kill that thing, your ship has like this glow, like this orange glow that's just like constantly going around it. And I'm like, what is this? I still don't have a jump coordinate. I'm not noticing anything else. And that's when I start putting two to two together that, oh, okay, I flew inside this thing that went into an empty chamber. I bet you this is probably going to power that up. So I flew back in there. It powered everything up. I got my glyph, and then I looked up, and there's a warp gate right there.
Nice.
Yep.
Which is awesome because I had no fuel to jump. So then I jumped, which then brought me into the scenario that I mentioned of being blown up by 5 Corvettes. So
Right.
I was like, all right, that ends that run. My third run, I had 19,000 credits. So after listening to you guys, again, I went straight into... Yeah,
all praise be.
And my God, is that thing OP.
It's so good.
The first enemy, there was like these 2 fighters that I had to take out, and I'm like, all right, let's see what this thing does. And I think I fired 2 shots from its plasma accelerator or whatever, and I think just blew that thing out of the space.
It just vaporized. It's like, wow,
like,
all right.
Holy crap.
Let's go.
So I think I just made it to Sector 2, and then I saved and quit. But yeah, that thing flies like a brick, but good God, can it take care of some business.
Yep, it's so good.
I kind of want to take on a Corvette just to see what it does.
That's right.
Go for it.
Yep.
Well, I was saying, because the last time I tried to take on a Corvette, I was kind of playing cat and mouse with it, where I was hiding behind an asteroid. So I would come out just far enough to destroy some of the shield repair things that it had, and then I would take down some of its shields, and as soon as all of its turrets would turn around on me, I would fly to the other side of the asteroid and do the same thing.
Oh, right.
It didn't get anywhere. I think I got it down to like half shields, and then it just regenerated everything. I'm like, all right, I'm just getting out of here. So I'm kind of curious to see what the gunship does, because that thing does work crazy.
Yeah, consider your shackles broken.
Right.
Unleash the beast.
That's right.
But I am enjoying the game.
Yeah.
I do want to play it again. It reminds me a lot of FTL, especially with the mapping and stuff.
Yep.
So, and I've already run across all these different characters. The first area I was in with the gunship, I was helping a lady out who was being attacked, and she gave me like a bunch of crap. It's like, all right, cool. And then the next area I jumped into, this fuel freighter was stuck in in like a space mine area, so I blew up a bunch of mines.
2 mines next to it, and you're just like, come on, dude, just drive straight. You'll get out of this, no problem.
Yeah, like not even a problem.
Whatever. So I helped them out, and they jumped out, and then them liking me went up or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Until I got into the next area and needed fuel and blew up one of their fuel canisters, and that really ticked them off. But I got so much fuel. Yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
I'm gonna try and blow through most of mine pretty quickly here because we've been recording for a while. Fortnite new season is out now, and it's a Marvel season, so like a fool, I decided to check it out, and whoops, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. Let's go through all the characters here that they have for the season, just in the season pass, because they just they started selling Silver Surfer, and it's money, and I don't want to spend money. So just the season pass, Thor is basically the first one you get, and it's a really good looking Thor. It's like comics Thor and not movie Thor. Wolverine, he's going to be, it looks like he's basically going to be like the challenge one, where it's like do X number of challenges over the next couple of weeks. The best part is when you unleash his harvesting tool, it's his claws, and it says snicked on the screen, and then you slash at stuff. It's really good. Storm, one of her alternate costumes is the Mohawk Storm, which is immediately, I'm going to get that as soon as I possibly can. She-Hulk, which is really great.
Can we talk about how good She-Hulk looks, by the way?
She-Hulk looks really good. Like, she has the right number of muscles everywhere, and it's not just like, yeah, here's She-Hulk, like, she's skinny. It's like, no. Here's She-Hulk. She has like 15 muscles on top of other muscles. Like, she's big. Groot looks really great, and Groot's backpack is...
Which variation of Groot? Teen, baby?
Full big one. But his unlockable backpack is Baby Groot dancing in a pot on his back. Which is really good. Doctor Doom, which is sort of surprising, and he looks really solid. Iron Man, of course, and Mystique, which is not one I was expecting. And Mystique looks pretty cool. She has like the skull and everything. Like I'm really impressed with how high quality a lot of stuff is. Like every Fortnite skin is really great, but I feel like they went the extra mile for like a whole bunch of Marvel characters. Plus, it's not just like the ones from the movies. It's like, no, the X-Men are in here too. Like we managed to get them all, even ones that you may not know about. So I think that's super cool, and a lot of the challenges for them seem pretty fair so far. Like I just finished Thor's challenges today, so you can use an emote where like lightning strikes his hammer and he sort of glows for a little bit. He probably does something different. I don't know. But Fortnite is still great, and this Marvel event seems pretty cool so far. Destiny 2, Destiny group, we did some Trials of Osiris. There are a bunch of challenges that require Trials wins that we decided this Friday to try and see how many we could get. And over the course of like 2 or 2.5 hours, we got 3 wins, which is 3 more than we thought we were going to get.
I can spend 8 hours playing Apex and get 0 wins, so you're fine.
Well, and the thing with Trials too is it's not like some of the other competitive PvP modes in the game. This is basically, as soon as you knock down the enemy team, that's it. You get 1 win, get to 5 wins, and you win the match.
Is that the punch card one?
That is the punch card one,
okay.
Yeah. And it doesn't have a bank of lives like the other competitive mode. It's, if you not get knocked down, you're down. Someone can try and revive you, but you know that's the risk you're gonna put. We had a couple of matches where we just got 100% stomped, where it's like, oh cool, 10 seconds in, they're behind us somehow. Like, oh okay, that's great. The majority of the matches were pretty close. Like we were getting better as we were playing, and a lot of our wins were really close, and we had 1 match where we just completely stomped them. Like it's almost one of those ones where you feel bad, where it's like you guys are just not, you're not getting it together, and I sort of feel badly, but I'll take the W because I need 7 of them. I also I haven't really talked about Moments of Triumph this year. It's basically the celebration of the last year of Destiny. One of them is there are 30 challenges in there. One of them is to complete all 5 of the first raids and raid layers. You can get access to a ring, like a physical ring you can buy for $130, so I will not be purchasing that. You get a special emblem, which looks super dope. So I've been going very slowly, like once every couple of weeks, been going through all of these raids, mostly because I haven't done the first 3. I did Leviathan with Bilsiford, and that went really well eventually. There's a very, very funny story about somebody not knowing the difference between rows and columns that maybe someday I will tell once I've stopped being salty about it. I did Eater of Worlds, which is easily the fastest Destiny raid I've ever done. It took us a long time to get the raid started, and it still took us 45 minutes. So like it very quick. And yesterday I did Spire of Stars, which is infamous. I have found, for good reason, is easily my least favorite piece of Destiny content in the franchise's history.
Why?
I like mechanically complex raids. Like you look at something like King's Fall from Destiny 1, or you look at something like the Riven fight in Last Wish, there's a lot of moving parts, and I think
get the ball, run the ball around the hoop.
Yeah, like these 3 people are doing these things, these 3 people are doing this thing. I like that stuff because like everybody has a job to do, and like everybody's job is important. I also like raids where every team member has a clearly defined role, and the success depends on them executing that role. Like the final boss battle of Crown of Sorrow, where there's not necessarily a ton going on, but every team of 2 people has a lot of stuff they need to do. I think that's really interesting. Spire of Stars combines those two. So there are like 7 different phases in the boss fight where everybody has a very specific thing that they're doing that they then need to switch to something else to come back to do this, to like step off a plate to come back on. And like all of it makes sense, and like you make every time you attempt it, you get a little better and you get in the flow and you learn how to adapt to some of the challenges it throws at you and some of the bugs that you're going to run into in any video game. But I caused a wipe for the team because there were 2 people in front of me and I threw the ball at the wrong person. And in that like 3 seconds of time we lost because I threw it at the wrong person, we couldn't finish the encounter. That's no fun. Like that's just the
sounds like the worst of both worlds.
It really is. And it's like each of those types of raids are fine, but you can't combine them like that. The best part about finishing Spire of Stars is I will never have to do it ever again. Like that. And to me, as someone who loves Destiny and loves raiding in Destiny, that's like the worst feeling you could possibly have for like a pinnacle raid piece of content in the game. And now I understand why it's so hated in the community, because it's so long and there's just so much to it. It's just not fun. It's so challenging that it moves to being unfun, and that just stinks.
That was part of some of the issues I was having with some of those raids anyway, where you're trying to get a group together and everyone's like, if you haven't done this and you don't know, what role
you haven't had 50
fulfill,
clears already.
Yeah, we're not taking you. And it's like, but I need to do this so that I can know how to do this.
Right. And that's why it takes me so long in between each raid is I keep a really close eye on the Destiny Sherpa subreddit. And every couple of weeks the time will work out right where like someone that seems like a nice Sherpa is running the right raid where I have a 2 or 3 hour window for me to learn it. And this one I got really lucky because this guy was Sherpaing it, but what he wasn't saying is myself and 4 of my clanmates that know this thing inside and out are going to Sherpa you. So like even if some stuff falls down a little bit, we've done this 50 times before, so we know how to recover. We know how to kind of not cheese the encounters, but like do them in a most optimal way while we're teaching you. And that was a really great. I've run into so many great Sherpas in the community that aren't like that, so they can like get your first run under you, so you can go run with some of those super elitist annoying groups if you really want to, which I don't. Because I don't like running with people that are like, we wiped once, I'm leaving. It's like, okay, great.
Welcome to the internet.
Or you get like, I remember some raids where it's like, oh, if the boss's health isn't down by this much, you just get people dropping.
Yeah, it's like, you guys didn't do enough damage, I'm leaving.
Yeah, and it's like, but we haven't lost yet. This isn't the point of no return.
This boss doesn't have an enrage timer. We're fine. Just do another phase. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 100%. I started, after I finished Spiritfarer, I decided to start Darksiders Genesis. This game's weird. I was expecting essentially Darksiders Diablo. It's not really that. It's kind of an isometric Darksiders dual stick shooter adventure game thing, and then you can switch between Strife, who has a gun, and War, who's just the Darksiders 1 guy.
Like, how dare you just refer to War as the Darksiders, just the Darksiders 1 guy?
I mean,
just remove that just.
Hey, I like Darksiders 2 a little bit more, but Darksiders 1 is still dope. The best Zelda game we've gotten in a really long time.
Hey, Breath of the Wild's pretty good.
Yeah.
The best
it's
traditional Zelda game we've had.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is a really good open world adventure game. But see what Breath of the Wild 2 does. I spent probably about an hour and a half with this game. I finished like the first level. I fought a boss. Like I've got a whole bunch of story stuff, and I kind of don't know how I feel yet. Like it's well made and it controls well and it seems fine, but like I kind of don't understand what it's going for yet, and it's what I'm playing it and I'm just sort of like what are we trying to do here? Like not in a bad way,
isn't it? It's a prequel before Darksiders 1, I think.
I'm sort of getting that impression, but it hasn't. I don't think it's come out right and said it. But I'm not like the super Darksiders lore master, so I'm not entirely. I'm not sure. Like, oh, they mentioned the council, so that definitely means. I have no idea. This isn't Destiny, so like I don't really know. So I'll probably keep sticking with this, but like. I feel like if I was playing it in co-op, I'd probably be having a lot more fun because it'd be two people that were really confused the whole time. But it's just me, and it's kind of fine, good, maybe. But I don't. I don't know. I have no idea. As Moon says, I don't know.
Yep.
And last game I played here is I put a bunch more time in Paper Mario Origami King. Now that I've sort of come down from Return of the Obra Dinn, I can play something else on my Switch now. And I've finished the first... So the whole thing in the game is like the bad guys have encased the Princess Peach's castle in these giant streamers, and the streamers are sort of... They're like paper mache streamers. They have spread themselves out across the whole of Mushroom Kingdom. So you chase the red one down first. I've completed that whole thing. Like I've broken the first streamer, which meant that I fought 2 boss battles. The first one was pretty good. The second one was...
Wait. Hold on. You said you broke the first streamer. Who are you, Mixer?
Heyo! No, I'm just Mario. Just mute Mario like in all the other Paper Mario games.
Nintendo does that too, but yes.
Yeah. The first boss battle was fine. The second one was really great because you're fighting against a sentient box of colored pencils, which is really, really great because they've been attacking this tower because everything's made out of paper, so they're like punching holes in this tower, and the rockets are just colored pencils that are coming in. It's really good. But the boss battles are really interesting because the normal battles are just concentric rings. You're lining enemies up so you can kind of get them in a row or a square and do damage. The boss battles are the opposite. So the boss is in the middle, and the circles, you start on the outside, and the circles have like arrows and buffs and damage tiles on them. So you have to make, using the arrows, you have to basically bounce. It's like Choo-Choo Rocket, where like if he hits the left arrow, he's going to go left along this. If he hits an up arrow, he's going to go up towards the boss. So you're drawing this path to try and get as strong as you can to like activate a skill to then hit a skill token right next to the boss, so you can eventually do that skill to do boss damage. And it's a really cool way of flipping that whole mechanic completely. And it by that point, I was kind of getting sick of the normal battles because it's make a line, make a square. Like it's kind of an impediment more than anything else. So having a boss battle do something really cool, and then once you complete that, the party member you're with is sort of like, hey, by doing that, you got stronger. So just like any Goombas out in the world, if you hit them before they walk into you, you just win the battle and you just get a bunch of coins. It's like, perfect. Thank you. Like right at the point where I'm sort of like, oh man, I could do a lot less of these random encounters. The game is just like, yeah, we're done with that. Let's move on. So far, still really great. I'm having a blast with it. Again, if someone is coming into this expecting an RPG, it is not. It is sadly not a Paper Mario RPG, but it's more like an encounter puzzle game than the previous ones have been. And I know people are upset about that, and I don't blame you. But like, I'm going into this knowing that it's not an RPG, which is fine.
It's the same fans who complain about this not being the same as the previous ones, but didn't complain about Breath of the Wild being the same as the previous ones.
Right. You can't make anyone happy. I was going to say you can't make everyone happy, but no, you can't make anyone happy. Everyone's always upset. Everyone just wants to fight for no reason. Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying that quite a bit. I'm hoping to probably tonight start on the second streamer. I think there's 5 of them total. But that's all I've been playing this week. Go ahead.
Is this one Ninja?
No, I actually don't know. I don't know when the Ninja one is, but I know that is one. I know the reference, but I've been specifically not spoiling myself on this stuff because I've heard that Ninja Village is really good. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Like a triple play on words going on right now. Let's just go to break.
All right. I don't know what joke you're trying to make, but
I do.
Oh,
and
I get it.
Appreciate both of you.
Sorry, you're talking about Garbage Human Ninja, the streamer, who hates women. Yeah, no, I'm talking about there's a ninja related theme park in Japan that they parody in this.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Trash Pile Human Ninja. Yeah, no, talking about something fun and something that enjoys being around women and not hating them. So that's all the games I've been playing this week. So let's take a break.
Shots fired.
Yep. Oh, be right back.
All right.
Let's check news stories here. Hello to everyone in chat. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for hanging out with us. 28 news stories. Sheesh. Genshin Impact heading to PS4 in September. Open world RPG. I feel like I've heard of Genshin Impact. Free-to-play action RPG.
Yeah, that is the one that is made by the Chinese studio that everyone thought was a complete and blatant ripoff of Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
But it is apparently a free-to-play RPG that's coming out September 28th, I think it is.
Okay.
Originally,
the trailer here.
The only reason I know about this is because I heard everyone saying that it was a Breath of the Wild ripoff, just Japanese anime RPG thing. All right, I kind of want to check it out. And I thought it was actually going to be like a $60 title. So that wasn't anything I was going to buy right away. But apparently it's free to play now. So I was like, okay, I'll still check it out.
At the beginning of this trailer, I can see where people might think those, because they're like big open green fields and like the cell shading looks fairly similar.
And I think that's really it, because I mean, and there is some gliding aspect. Some of your characters can glide.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, besides those two things, it doesn't really look like a Breath of the Wild game.
No, this looks pretty cool. I might check this out when hearing them say it's free to play. I'm hoping it's not like a gacha game.
They do. This looks pretty cool. The characters are gacha, but apparently you can earn the currency in game. So I don't.
Good.
So far, I haven't seen where real money that we would have to pay comes into this.
Right, or at least not in like the gross way where it's like, here's your 2 starter characters. Next one's $7.99. Just like, ugh.
My hope is that, I don't know, they pull it off correctly, where it's like Warframe, where it's like, okay, I'll throw you guys a couple of bucks for cosmetic stuff because
the tip
you
jar.
put out a good game. Yeah. As opposed to, no, you have to pay $50 for this one character.
Right.
But it looks cool. I don't know what one you're watching, but they had one with the battle system, and they were showing how the different magic elements can be used with each other.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
Like, you can make enemies, use a water spell on something and then cast lightning, and everything that's wet around that area just gets electrocuted.
That's cool.
So they keep a lot of that physics stuff in there too, which looked really cool. They were talking about too how you get this one character has wind magic, then they can make a tornado, and if you switch to another character and cast fire at the same time, you make like a fire tornado.
Yeah, fire and tornadoes.
Yeah,
that seems cool. I'm gonna check that out.
You can pre-order. It's like a $9-10 early access bundle thing, which gets you like starter items or stuff like that on the PlayStation. I don't know if that's on any of the other console or platform releases, but it's not like anything you need.
Genshin Impact Adventure Starter Bundle.
Yeah.
Advanced character XP material, a bunch of currency, some northern smoked chicken.
Okay.
The usual stuff.
Like I said, it's something you could buy if you wanted to, but it didn't seem anything like, oh, this is your epic sword that's going to break the game because you spent money on it.
Yeah, or like you get like 5 characters or like 5 character pulls or something.
Yeah.
That would be something that I'd be interested in, but yeah, that looks cool. I haven't played like a real anime game other than Fortnite for a while.
It looks interesting, at least.
Yeah. All right, let's pull up news stories here. I am ready to go whenever you guys are.
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of August 31st, 2020. Crusader Kings 3 comes out on PC, OS X, and Linux. You've probably seen the high-def capybara. That's literally all I've seen of it. But everyone seems super pumped about this. So, Marvel's Avengers comes out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia. They've been talking...
Stage.
Yeah. Just so funny. I know the PS5 and Series X versions are coming later this year, but I don't think they have a release date yet. So I don't know, like how smart delivery is going to work, how any of that is going to work. So don't quote me because I don't know. NBA 2K21, PC, Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia. And rounding out the releases this week, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. That game looks great. And they have recently just said that they got the rest of the songs back in the game and just added a whole bunch of new ones. So, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about our final Fortnite update, because I'm kind of done talking about it now that it seems like largely the dust has settled.
No. It's in the court's hands now. That's what the issue is.
Well, yeah, sort of. So a federal judge this week ordered Apple to not disable the Unreal Engine-related Epic accounts. So basically they're saying, like, look, I'm not going to rule on the other stuff right now, but you can't kill Unreal Engine on a platform. That feels punitive. You really can't do that. That would be a step too far. The judge did say, we'll rule on the other stuff later. Apple did, however, disable Epic Games' account, essentially the Fortnite account, the one that publishes Fortnite on iOS, and just sort of said, like, hey, we got to the date and you didn't take the stuff out, so bye. See ya. So they're like, we weren't joking, that this adios. And this is probably, unless Epic gets really weird about something out of left field again, we probably won't talk about this until the probably sealed case deliberation for that comes out of federal courts that we'll never know the terms of. So what a weird end.
Don't worry, in 30 years we'll get a tell-all book.
Yeah, that's true. If my eyes still work at that point,
then either.
Yeah, if my eyes still work at that point, I'll read it on my space reader or something. Gamescom started this week, or what Gamescom is this year started this week. Jeff Keighley, as he usually does, ushered it in front of an Unreal Engine 4 stage. He showed a lot of stuff over the 2 hours, plus a super annoying pre-show. Don't do that pre-show again. So the nice thing is that they got out front pretty early on and said, like, look, there's not a lot of world exclusives this time. It's a lot of like updates on stuff we already know about. So like there was an attempt to say, lay thy pitchforks down, internet. And it probably didn't work, but it was nice to see them come out front and say it. Let's talk about the highlights here as they are. Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 1 got a gameplay trailer. That looks like more of it with like more enemies and maybe a couple new weapons. This will be a standalone expansion. So if you didn't play Doom Eternal, you can kind of get into whatever this is going to be. BioWare came out to talk about Dragon Age and pulled another EA, which look at all this concept, slow pans of concept art. See you later.
E3 of 2018 is
100%. And E3 of 2016 and 14, and like it's in every other year EA where they're like, the future of Dragon Age is important to us. Here's a volcano someone drew. Moving on. It's just like, just don't. We know you're working on it. We know we have to assume you've been rebooting it here. Just say like, we're still working on it. Dragon Age is very important to us. See you next year. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. See you in 2023. There's a new Star Wars expansion for The Sims 4 that looks really good. This was not the tie-in I was expecting, but it looks really good.
My wife is losing her mind over it. More so my kids, but
yeah, it looks really good. Because they were like, here's a tie-in you never saw coming, and I was like, oh, it's The Sims. It's The Sims Star Wars. Yeah, cool. Also showed another trailer for Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which got a delay to spring 2021. That still looks good. That game, it's all 9 movies, all smashed into one 60-ish.
I can play it for the 17th time, though.
Yeah, like, I'm really curious to see when the reviews come out of, like, did they just, like, remake these levels and put a different hub in them? Like, are we playing the same thing, or did you kind of remix and create new stuff? Otherwise, it looks like it still has sort of the same Lego game humor in it, which is great. And if it is the same thing for the same time, maybe I'll just pick it up for $10, including the season pass, in like 3 years.
I wish they would just do the extended lore already. I know it's not canon anymore.
Yeah, it's not going to stop them.
Just doing the movies. Just do
now
something
it's called
else.
Legends, though, and it's called Legends, which makes it an even better video game title.
That's true. Lego Star Wars Legends, Volume 1. This horse is driving an X-Wing. They showed Fall Guys Season 2, in time for 40 days left in Fall Guys Season 1. They're showing a medieval theme, which looks really good, and a whole bunch of new minigames, which also look really good. I play Fall Guys at least like 2 or 3 matches of Fall Guys every day, so I'm still super interested in Fall Guys, and my kid still really loves Fall Guys.
Yeah.
I'm now a Slurpee, and she's always saying like, "Yeah, go Milkshake, go." It's like, yeah, that's right. I never win, but I appreciate having a cheerleader. Go ahead.
You should check out Girlfriend Reviews. Just did a parody song video for Fall Guys. It's pretty solid.
I should watch that. I like Girlfriend Reviews. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond was shown off there. They really spent a bunch of time touting that this is a brand new game from like the original creators of Medal of Honor, except for like Steven Spielberg. So like they were spending a ton of time really building this up, and it's a VR only, Oculus only game, which is just like the air came out of the room at that point, because this game looks pretty okay. And then they're like, this is the only control scheme for Medal of Honor, and so like, that's a letdown.
Have you got that nail
ready?
Yeah. Have you got that nail from the box label Death? Because we need one to hammer it into this game really quick.
And like, I get where they were coming from, because they're like, look, if you want to duck, you just duck. If you want to like lean around a corner a little bit, you just lean over instead of having to hold 2 or 3 buttons. It's like, yeah, I get it, man, but like use the gyroscope in these controllers. Like, you can do that too. Like, this is that's okay. So that's a bummer. They showed off a bunch new gameplay of Destiny 2 Beyond Light with the new stasis element / subclass. So they got all the freezy bits and all the ice wands and stuff. It looks great. It looks really good. There's still like 73 days left in this season. It's so long. So long. And last off, they showed an incredibly long pure gameplay demo of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, 7.5 minutes. So basically they took the last gameplay demo and just showed all of it. And man, Sony and Microsoft, I think, up until this point, have been doing a really great job of selling the benefits of having an SSD from day one in these consoles. And Microsoft's showing like super fast game switching. We're like, yeah, we're running 5 games at the same time. You're switching to them in 15 seconds. And here's the load times for State of Decay 2, which is abysmal on current gen, and next gen, it's like 10 seconds, no big deal. But seeing this longer gameplay demo of Ratchet and Clank, just like here you're in the Metropolis area and like literally 2 seconds later, here's an entirely different world for 2 seconds, and then you're in this other one, and like jumping between. This is one of those moments where I'm like, okay, like now I understand showing us raw gameplay from something like this. It's like, this is what you can do with the next hardware. And of course, it looks great and it sounds great. Like the Ratchet games have always looked great, and it'll look great in 4K, but like, seeing those load times is just like, yeah, man, like this looks really good. Like that's really impressive. So
I'm just super happy that there's another Ratchet and Clank game.
100%. Yeah. And like they had a, what was that pirate themed one from the PS3? Something of Booty?
Quest for Booty.
Quest for Booty? Yeah. Still a great title. Like they made a reference.
Anything Ratchet and Clank.
Right. Yeah, because they made a reference to that where you like one of the portals takes you to the Quest for Booty world, and like someone's makes a reference to that, and then you teleport out. It's like, yeah, that's really good. This game's going to be... This is one of those few day one purchases for me. Like a Ratchet and Clank, a regular Ratchet and Clank game that isn't like a 4-player thing or like an experimental thing has never let me down. So I'm really looking forward to Rift Apart. All right, let's move on to questions here. Carried over a couple from last week. T-Bomb Rock says, over the years, you've answered varied questions about irritations or cardinal gaming sins. What about apps? Some of your app cardinal sins.
Dark mode, lack thereof.
Yeah, I like dark mode a lot. Like, and if you can have your dark mode change from like light mode to dark mode based on when my phone does it, because I run light mode during the day and dark mode at night, that's the chef's kiss right there.
For me, it's how, I guess, abrasive the adding is.
Right.
Because like, so recently, probably actually a couple months ago, the music player for Samsung on the Android S7s, all of a sudden that started having ads, which I'm fine with, but now it pops up with a screen every time that I click on it where it's an ad. And it's like, you can click on this button where it's like, don't show me an ad for another 7 days. I'm like, nope. So I completely moved all my music to a different app.
Right.
And deleted that off of my phone. So
also, like, why are you putting ads in like the built-in music player? Like, it would be one thing if it's like, here's a tiny little image at the top, but it's sort of like,
yeah, because it never had ads before, and now all of a sudden I have to close out this window just to get to what I have for music.
And now it's popping up like YouTube ads saying like, you're not a dish, you're a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll deal with ads if I'm using the free one. And that's the other thing too. If I have to pay for an app, there better not be any ads in it.
Right. Or like if the only thing I pay for is like removing ads for $1, like that's cool.
Yeah.
Moon, anything that rustles your jimmies about apps?
I mean, losing places is a very big one as well, to be honest. Like dark mode, losing places, not remembering formats, which is something Windows is actually pretty nasty about as well.
It can
Windows,
be, yeah.
you update. But if I set my Twitter to be go away with your top tweets, BS, give me latest tweets, don't change it back 2 days later. Right. And let me know. You're now seeing top tweets first. It's like, no, I changed that.
I
saved that change.
Right.
I don't change it back without my permission. And also stop serving me ads for cat food because you keep hearing me talk about cat food.
Right.
We're not changing.
The humans spoke about cats.
Yeah, we need to keep our cat on the same food because we have things to allergies to process.
Right.
So go away with your cat food.
Just like my cats, it's like they have this specific food for medical reasons. I'm not, and I literally can't buy it from anywhere except for my vet. Don't show me any of this stuff.
The other thing that I also hate too is like with Twitter on mobile, it started asking me to start confirming my contact information.
Yeah, it's like, why do you need that?
Nope. So I deleted that and I just use Twitter on PC because it doesn't ask me for my contact information.
My favorite ones is like, hey, you just started using this app. Do you want to invite people in your contacts list? It's like, no, I don't even have anyone in my contacts list because nobody calls me. I text you two and my wife and my mom, and that's about it.
Oh, I've got one more too, and this just seems to be game specific for mobile. When you start a game brand new, just downloaded it and you get into it and it forces you into a tutorial and you can't do anything with the settings until you get through the tutorial and it lets you into the main menu. So
you got the music
blaring.
Like...
yeah. And it's like, it's just dumb stuff like that. It's like, let me look at the settings first. And then when I click new game or whatever, then throw me into your hour-long stupid tutorial that I'm not going to read anyways.
100%. Yeah. T-Bomb here says, mine would be searching through a long list and clicking on a page, then backing out, and the list starts all the way at the beginning. Yeah. Yep. That's one of those. There's like, oh, yeah, all right, I found it on the 50th thing, and now I want to keep looking through the list. Nope. Thanks. Timid Hoke sends our last question here of the week. Hi guys, I finally found a new Switch without paying over retail. Thanks, Best Buy. Question is, what games other than Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are required Switch gaming? And he has another question here for us in a minute.
Pokemon, if you're a fan of that series, or JRPGs in general.
Yep, I like Pokemon. Spiritfarer is on Switch.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, wink.
Ys is on the Switch.
Yep. I'm trying to look through here. On Nintendo's web. It's really hard for me. I don't have my Switch here right now. Go play Return of the Obra Dinn. I don't have my Switch here right now, so it's like a little bit hard to figure out what I have purchased and I enjoy.
That's what I was actually looking at on my shelf. Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yep.
If you like a really long RPG with massive worlds,
yes,
you can play the first one or the second one. It's really good. I actually have to get back to the first one.
Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon are both really good on Switch. They both run really well. There's a lot of Picross games on Switch that are all really good.
Astral Chain.
Astral Chain, yes.
Really awesome game.
That's probably on sale, too. God, what else is here?
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is pretty good, too.
It
has random difficulty spikes in it that is a real pain for my family and I to play with, but...
Right. Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah, there is the exclusives like Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2/3, whatever that's eventually going to get made.
I forgot about 3, yeah.
And Deadly Premonition.
Cadence of Hyrule, which I still haven't played yet.
Yeah, Cadence of Hyrule. The first Ori and the Blind Forest is on there. If you haven't played that, apparently that runs really nicely on there.
Splatoon 2 is really fun to play.
Yeah, that's true. What else do we have here? Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That remake is actually really good.
Yep.
If you have the online stuff, go play Tetris 99.
Yeah.
God, I feel like there's just like a bajillion games on here now where I can just kind of
how awesome this steelbook is for Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, snap.
It's wonderful.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I love that game.
Doesn't care.
Animal Crossing. That's still going to be $60, but that's really good. There's just like, I feel like my biggest recommendation for the Switch eShop is when you have like an hour, just on the console, you might be able to do this on the website. Just go into like the new releases and go through the sales and go through the indie games filter. They have a whole bunch of filters. Go through and just add everything you find interesting to your wish list, and Nintendo will send you an email when the price drops. You can also go to our the website we love, psprices.com, which we are not affiliated with, but the site is really good. You can do it there, but like that's a lot of times what I do where I'm like, this game just came out. It looks super cool, but I'm not sure I want to spend like $30 on it because I'm playing like 5 other things right now. Hit the little heart, add it to the wish list, and then just kind of save that for a rainy day.
But yeah, East Origins is on there on the eShop. East 8 you can pick up, probably be cheaper on the eShop. And East 9 next year is coming out on the Switch as well. So
there you go.
Jump into one of those 3.
His other question is also, I'm planning on only playing docked. Is a Pro Controller a must, or can I get by with an 8-bit Bluetooth adapter and use Xbox controller? I mean, either
what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, the Pro Controller's really nice, but I know it's like $70, $60 if you can find it on sale, and it might be hard to find right now. And an Xbox controller with that adapter is going to work just fine.
Go for the... God, what... they're not knockoff, but like the third.
Oh, the Hori ones. Yeah.
Go for those. Those are really good.
Yeah, I think the only thing you might lose is vibration, but that probably won't matter that much.
But I mean, like my kids haven't had any issues with those controllers, and they drop them constantly on the hardwood floor.
Right. I heard you drop a controller. Come on.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you'd be Hori or the Bluetooth adapter or a Pro Controller. I feel like you kind of can't go wrong with either one. It's just, if you're comfortable with the Xbox controller, I've heard those Bluetooth adapters work really well on the Switch. We know Moons works really well on the PS4, but you kind of can't go wrong there.
And Hori's just a really good, cheaper alternative compared to spending the $70 or $80 for a Pro Controller.
Yeah, like the price is really good and you get a really great product. It's one of those things where it's like, this is cheaper than it should. Is this like a Mad Catz deal? Like, what are we? And it's like, no, it's just a really good controller for a lot less money.
Yeah. Weird
when you don't have to license a gyroscope and vibration. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, that's all of our questions for this week. Thank you, everyone, for sending them in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere follow us is on the right-hand side of the page, including the merch store, which you should go check out and keep an eye on our Twitter account going forward. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Talked about it at the top of the show. You can get early access to We Rogue Like It. You get 2-week early access to that. You get 2-month early access to Critical Misses, which is just it keeps on rolling. We just have another episode in the can that needs to be video and audio edited this week. So that's rolling on. I was wondering what was so hot. My son is just baking this chair that I'm sitting in, which is no fun. You can get the exclusive uncensored Outcast. We have the stuff we record before we go live, and then it has like all the breaks and stuff. And you can help me pay for the show. And remember the $250 mark. I start playing scary games in the dark with these headphones on, which are shockingly good. These are Astro headphones, so you know they're not like some Beats garbage or whatever. Just scare the poops out of me. But don't forget, we just did the end of Everspace for the public feed for We Really Like It. We're playing the Sexy Brutale for Game Club right now. We're doing like 400 shows all at once, so like just check the website, put the RSS feed in your podcatcher, rate us 5 stars if you feel free to say anything less than that. Maybe don't. We appreciate any, and go tell a friend. Go tell 2 friends. Yeah. Have them tell 3 friends. Have them tell 4 friends.
No. Tell 2, tell 2.
Pay it forward.
It's an exponential curve if you do tell 2, tell 2. By the time you get to 20 people, dude, then one person's going to be walking around the street with a megaphone talking about our show, which we don't want to do right now.
Well, the exposure would be great, but if you could do it like out your window with a mask on, that would be great. Stay safe. Wash your hands. That's everything for this week. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
I only have one title. Nimp, how many do you have?
I got a couple.
Okay.
All right. I have Lapex, ?
That's the one I've got.
In case my shelf. It's money, and I don't money. Remove that just.
That's a pretty good one, but I feel like it might be too non sequitur.
As Moon says, I don't know. And go Milkshake, go.
I like that one. All right, Moon, what do you have?
Top 20 every time. Like a Vulcan. ABAB, which I realize is probably a veto straight off.
It's really good, but it's almost like someone talking about the Mortal Kombat 2 blood code.
Mm-hmm. I Bleed Blue. A Cold Dead Robot. The Worst of Both Worlds. Freezy Bits and Ice Ones. And Go Milkshake Go. I think Go Milkshake Go takes this, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I feel like La Apex is a good title, especially with the question mark. But I feel like it's not as punchy as Go Milkshake Go.
Mm-hmm. For me, as soon as you said it, it's like, well, there's the show title.
Circle it right now. All right, well, I'm circling it. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 671 for August 31st, 2020. Go Milkshake, go.
It's a slushy-like drink.
Go Milkshake, go Milkshake, go. Go Milkshake, go Milkshake, go.
Oh, no. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening and all that fun jazz. We appreciate it, and I hope we'll see you next week.